Good morning, folks. The real Captain Kirk here, live from Weather Trends 360 studio here in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It is Thursday morning around 9 o'clock. I thought we'd do a quick update here on Hurricane Dorian because this will have some pretty significant impacts to a small area of Florida, but again, an impact nonetheless. Current position here, again, as of 5 a.m., there'll be an update here in a few minutes, but again, it's a strengthening hurricane, now Cat 1, but on its way to becoming a major hurricane here in the next couple days and heading for Florida. We look at some of the model guidance here, we see that, again, the track is relatively tight, taking it, but again, tight meaning it can still have error of 100 plus miles, so it could be somewhere south of Cape Canaveral at this point, somewhere maybe even south of Melbourne, even to West Palm Beach. So again, if anywhere from Miami to Cape Canaveral, probably the highest risk areas, and then you can see the chart on the right here is the track as it moves over Florida and then through the southeast and then either up and off the East Coast or just inland, but again, that's getting out here to later next week. But again, general consensus is relatively tight for models. Again, there's a lot of error here, but pretty certain it's going to make landfall in Florida and then head inland up the East Coast with some tropical rains to contend with as we go to next week. This is the model intensity guidance on the left here, shows a Cat 3. The timing is generally Sunday, Monday time frame for Sunday morning, start to have some of the impacts of tropical storm force winds, and then late Sunday, Monday is the general thinking for landfall again in that southeast Florida area. If we look at the storm surge track here, this is again very much subject to change, just right of the landfall. So right now this was say near Vero Beach and points north up toward Melbourne. Again, a tidal surge of 8 to 10 plus feet. Again, right of the center is where you're going to have that big storm surge. Storm surge is not waves. It's just, again, the water lifting up. The ocean's literally just lifting up 8 to 10 feet. And then waves are on top of that. If we look at those waves, we can actually see that they're going to approach 10 to 20 feet. So, again, you're talking about a 20 to 30 foot full wall of water, if you will, to the right of the center. So again, anywhere from West Palm Beach to Cape Canaveral, you need to be very concerned about this. Let's hope it's not headed, it's shifted south a bit, some of the model guidance, but let's hope it's not going to get as far south as Miami. But nonetheless, still hitting some potentially populated areas. If we look at the storm track here over the next 14 days, again, you can see generally the rainfall trend as it hits into central Florida and then heads up the East Coast. Again, track after that is obviously very uncertain. It could head off North Carolina, then re-intensify. Doesn't look like a huge impact to the coastal Northeast in terms of winds because the track would probably take it off the coast, well off the coast, to have any wind impact. But again, something to watch. The other thing about this system is that it's very much a tightly compacted storm. This is not a Katrina, huge, massive hurricane. So again, the destruction will be potentially severe with a Cat 3 landfall. So anywhere in that southeast Florida, south of Orlando, could certainly see catastrophic damage. But again, it's going to be a very tight 50 plus mile wide swath, so this is not like it's going to impact hundreds of miles. So again, you really need to be on that right front quadrant of the hurricane, so wherever it makes landfall and points right by about 50 miles could have certainly catastrophic damage. So very critical here to keep watching this. We will keep you updated in the days ahead here over the holiday weekend. Not surprising, this is kind of where our year ahead outlook for the hurricane season was that it was going to be southeast Florida, and that's kind of where this one's hitting. So after that, we may get a little bit of a break here as we enter the peak of the season, but again, certainly Dorian, something to watch. So with that, folks, we will keep you updated, and be safe.